All right, what's going on, everyone? So today we got to talk about the SPY, the S&P 500, the SPY. We got to talk about some stock market stuff because, as everybody knows, it was pumping, doing big numbers. So this is pretty interesting because nobody really expected things to just kind of turn around like this, but Trump keeps doing his whole tariff thing, and we just got earnings. So, anyways, this is what we're going to talk about. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Let's get straight into it. So, as you can see right now, the numbers are looking decent. We're at $546.69 with the SPY. So that's pretty big right here. You can already see I got some things drawn out here on what my predictions are. Now, I know you see that it shows, this little triangle pattern here and this line going down as if it was going to pull back. But personally, I believe we are about to blow past this top area of this pattern. So this pattern right here is pretty much an ascending triangle wedge. So this is kind of what we call that ascending triangle, right? But it's not necessarily ascending right now, it's descending. So it's a descending triangle. So as you can see here, this is the continuation of a descending triangle, or what is supposed to be a continuation of a descending triangle. So it's the one right here. So the reason why I said it's supposed to be that is because it should be it. But as you know, like right now, this market is really controlled by Trump at this point. It's controlled by Trump. It's controlled by the tariffs and whatever comes out of the U.S. Any type of news coming out of the U.S. that's big is controlling this market. So technically, it should be inside of this wedge pattern here. It should be a descending triangle, but for some reason it's not, because as you already know, Trump is doing his thing right now. He's kind of walking back everything that he was talking about. And not only that, we just now had earnings for Google. So we just had Google earnings, which turned out to be good, and then we had Tesla earnings yesterday, which wasn't that good. So now we're having some good news for Google, and then we're gonna have more earnings coming up soon as well. So this is kind of a weird thing. The trade war thing is kind of pulling everything down, but then Google just now pulled everything up, and Trump kind of walked back some of his tariffs, but he's still hawking on those tariffs. So this is a weird space to be in right now. But yeah, some other analysts are saying stocks haven't been pricing in a U.S. recession. So, I mean, that's an interesting take. It says investors aren't currently pricing in a U.S. recession, according to the Dutch, I think, bank analysis comparing recent activity in stocks, bonds, oil markets as well. So, the market's resilience up to now leaves room for asset prices to fall further if a recession does materialize. Stocks have been buoyed by signs the Trump administration is considering de-escalating its trade war with China. So that's kind of one of the good things they're considering on de-escalating, but they haven't necessarily done it yet. So I guess you can say that's one of the good things coming out of the market. And then the whole Google earnings thing, Google had good earnings, so everybody's kind of rallying around that, and that's kind of lifting up the whole overall market. So yes, Google had their strong earnings, and I believe it was because of their Google Cloud and the AI as well. That was helping Google out as well, and also their ad revenue. So they had a lot of revenue coming back. So yeah, this is pretty big. But it says on Thursday, Alphabet stock rose after the company beat on earnings and announced a dividend hike and a $70 billion stock buyback. So that's pretty big. So they had a really good earnings, and this is now lifting up the whole market with it. So yeah, we got some interesting stuff. So if none of that happened, we should have been inside of this descending triangle. This right here should have been a descending triangle if none of that happened. But unfortunately, this is not a descending triangle now. Well, it is a descending triangle, but unfortunately, it's not treating itself as if it were a descending triangle. So that's just kind of how we have things right now. And then all these little white lines that I have set up, these are just micro support and micro resistance levels that I have been tracking for a while. So that's what we got going on there. Now, look, if we go through tomorrow and it's negative, we could be pulling back to 520 in the spot, right? But personally, I see I would say about $575 possibly. So that's personally what I think. If we are to be bullish with this, that is how much I think that we could go up by. So maybe a lot of people agree, maybe a lot of people don't agree, but I say that is at the most if we are to just randomly take off tomorrow, right? If tomorrow is supposed to be a takeoff period, because as you can see, this is a very significant support that was used for us before, and now it's also being used as resistance. So our support usually always becomes our resistance inside of those scenarios. So yeah, that this has always been a very significant area for us at 575. But anyways, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. Now, let's hypothetically say tomorrow we break out. If we break out tomorrow and we just go crazy inside the market, then I believe we'll either run up until 565 or we'll run up until about 575. If we go into tomorrow bullish, we're either going to 565 or 575. So those are the two levels that we primarily have to watch out for inside of the market for tomorrow. 565 and 575 if it's going to be bullish. But if it's not going to be bullish, then what you could see is something similar to this, to where it pulls back to the bottom of this wedge pattern right around here and then tries to make its way out and then eventually falling out and then going back to that low. So that would be a double bottom at that point, and then we could actually build up more momentum to actually take off. We could build that momentum up to take off. So personally, I think either way, it's going to go down. It's just a matter of when is it going to go down. Is it going to go down after it takes off tomorrow because we got so much good news with the Google earnings, and now we're about to get more earnings? Or is it just going to go down tomorrow immediately, right? Is it going to go up tomorrow, get rejected, and then go into the next week going down, or what? Like, what's going to happen? And then also another thing that I like to point out here is with this pattern, and again, this is a descending triangle here, but with this descending triangle, we can see a lot of different scenarios, right? A lot of different scenarios can come about by this. Like either way, you can consider this as your descending triangle continuation or your ascending triangle continuation. But the reason why I say descending triangle is because if you actually look at it, we're coming down. Like we're literally coming down from previous highs. So we're in a current downtrend, right? And that's more into comparison to this, right? Because the descending triangle, it shows it coming downwards. Obviously, the ascending triangle shows that it's going upwards, but we are not coming from lows going up. Like we are literally coming off of a big drop that we had previously from the all-time high all the way down to 480. So from about 610 down to 480. So that's pretty much what we got going on from there. So I think this is more closer to the descending triangle than the ascending triangle. Obviously, it shows the ascending triangle over here, but I believe that we kind of have these roles reversed right now just because how the market's been going. So, hey, maybe you could say it's a symmetrical, even though it's not really shaped symmetrical. But hey, either way, what we're seeing right now is kind of crazy because anything can happen at this point. All it takes is one bad news article to make it go down, or one good news article to make you go up. All it takes is for Trump to announce one thing that's bad, it's going down. Trump announces something that's good, it's going up. Good earnings for all the other stocks going up, literally. Like that's pretty much how we're looking at it right now. But yeah, anyways, if we are to continue with this pattern, towards the end of this pattern will be around May 6th, May 5th, May 8th, because you also got to think we are going to be having like tomorrow is going to be the 25th, right? That's going to be Friday. And then we won't have another trading day till the 28th, which is going to be Monday. And then we got Tuesday the 29th, Wednesday the 30th, May 1st is Thursday, Friday, May 2nd, and then you have us going into May 5th on that next week. So possibly it might take us a week, but I still believe we're going to end up coming down eventually. So there's probably going to be another pullback, but we might have some nice pumps before we get that pullback. So that's pretty much what I'm seeing here with the market. But yeah, anyways, let me know what you guys think about this. Even here on the RSI, it looks like we're a little bit high here on the RSI. looking a little bit overbought there on the RSI. So there's still that possibility that it could continue to go up a little more, but I do believe we're gonna drop eventually, and we're gonna probably touch that support again. But yeah, I'm definitely not saying just go all in on puts, because if you do that and it just starts running, you're not gonna be too happy. And yeah, puts are always pretty risky compared to calls. But even doing calls, like what if we just keep going down and then we stay down for a while and we go sideways for a while? Then you're really gonna be screwed. So I would just say be patient. So yeah, we have to wait till we have that confirmation. But anyways, this is all I got for you all today. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Definitely hit the like button and subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, I'll be back with another video.